Hey everyone. So I thought in light of our most recent card pull of holding the vision on those things that we enjoy, that are important to us, that bring us positive energy and bring positive energy into our experience here on the earth, right? Firm believer that doing that is how we bring in that version of the earth, that new earth that we want to live and experience. I thought we'd do a practice centered around focusing on those things that we do enjoy and that bring us that positive energy. Sometimes it's easy to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to make time for those things. But in the moment, when we have, a few minutes, we just, if they aren't fresh in our minds, sometimes we'll get distracted. I'm talking about myself. Sometimes I will get distracted and put that time energy in the things that really aren't going to bring me that level of joy, right? So it's really valuable to, I think, take this time to intentionally bring those things to mind. So one of the things I enjoy, obviously, is this. Like, I'm like, for me, it was like, as soon as I pulled that card, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do my practice today and share it with everyone because that brings me a lot of joy. So thank you for joining me and sharing this with me. And let's begin. So we can start in a seated cross-legged position if you prefer, because it would bring you more joy, feel free to lie back in a Shavasana version to start as well. So it's totally up to you, whatever speaks to you. Okay. So definitely make sure whatever position you choose, you're in a comfortable position that you could sustain for a few minutes. Okay. And if you're in the seated version, I have a cushion underneath today just for a little elevation of the hips. I find that more comfortable, a little more support. And then I'm just going to come into the Burmese style of the seated easy pose. So I'm bringing the sole of the one foot to the inner thigh and then the sole of the other foot to the shin. Okay. Letting my hands just rest down on the knees or thighs. Okay. Drawing the crown of the head up. So I'm just going to roll my shoulders open. So I have a little more of a poised position or posture. Slight tuck in my chin and then closing my eyes. So just intentionally taking those few moments to set yourself up and coming to some stillness. Noticing now the flow of your breath. So noticing the breath flowing in, any movement or sensation with the inhale. And then noticing on the exhale, the movement and sensation. So no efforting. We're just letting the process happen and just experiencing it from moment to moment. And just enjoying the fact that we are able to breathe in this way. So just stopping and noticing the simple activity of just breathing. Something we do all the time, but can we look at it in a way where we can just experience it moment to moment, the ease of it, and just enjoy the process. Now bringing one hand to the heart center and one hand to your belly, staying with the breath. And bringing now to mind one activity that you enjoy. Could be anything, could be something creative, could be something very passive, something you do maybe all the time, but when you really get to have time with it without distraction, that something you could really enjoy. So bring that activity to mind now. Picturing yourself doing that activity. Feeling the enjoyment that you get from participating in that activity. Just noticing that you really enjoy this activity, feeling all of the enjoyment that it brings you. Feeling the love for this activity. All right, now releasing that vision and slowly beginning to open your eyes, bringing yourself back into the space. You can rest your hands back down on the knees or thighs. There we go. Taking a deep breath, letting yourself come back. All right, taking another deep inhale. We're going to slowly bringing the crown of the head up. And then exhale, we're going to bring the chin down towards the chest. So inhale, bringing the head back up. Exhale, chin the chest. Let's do that one more time. Take your time. There's no rush. Inhale. And exhale. Now on the exhale, on the next inhale, we're going to slowly roll our left ear, just like a little semicircle, towards the left shoulder. We're going to hold here just for a few breaths. So releasing any efforting. Just let gravity do its work. Softening on the exhale. Option here, if you want to intensify a little bit, we can bring those right fingertips down to the mat beside you. Listen to your body. If that feels like too much, bring it back to your knee. One more breath. Exhale. Let's slowly roll. Nice and easy. Chin down towards the chest. And then inhale, slowly bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder. I'm going to pause here for a few breaths. Option, of course, to extend the left fingertips down to the mat. And if you feel like you want to do a little kind of rock forward and back with your head, feel free. Coming in, let your breath lead though. Deep breath. Again, no efforting. We're just letting gravity do its work here. On the exhale, let's slowly roll chin to chest. Now we're going to move a little more dynamically. So inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Just flowing with your breath. Let the breath lead. I'm going to do one more on each side. Take your time. Enjoy the process. Next time the chin comes down to chest, slowly on inhale, guiding the head back up to neutral. Right. Now we're going to bring the hands, if they aren't already, on the thighs or the knees, whatever feels most comfortable, depending on your arm length. And we're going to move into some shoulder shrugs. So on the next inhale, we're going to inhale. I'm using the hands to help push the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, let them drop. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. Inhale up. Drop. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. Last one, drop. There we go. All right. So now moving into a few side bends, just working on opening up the side body a little bit. We're going to bring those left fingertips back down to the mat. Right hand palm facing up. Inhale all the way up, reaching that right hand all the way up. Making sure that right shoulder is, or right arm is in the shoulder joint. And then exhale, coming into a side bend towards the left. So making sure we're keeping the chest open. We don't want to be caving in on this one. We're going to keep it nice and open. And breathe. Your gaze can be up at the hand if that feels good, or just forward. Today, for me, feels nice looking forward. One more breath. Reaching, maybe a little deeper if that feels good. And then inhale all the way up. Right fingertips come down to the mat. Left hand palm facing up. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, side bend. Again, keeping the chest open. Gaze is wherever is good for the neck. Every exhale, you might feel that you are inclined to go a little deeper. Feel free. And then inhale all the way up. So again, we're going to move through this one a little more dynamically. So with the left fingertips down, inhale, right arm all the way up. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale all the way up. Right fingertips down. Inhale, left arm all the way up. Exhale, side bend. So flow with your breath. All right, inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, down. Now we're going to move into tabletop. So we're just bringing the hands out in front. If you're on a cushion, feel free just to move it off to the side. Hands out in front. And we're going to make sure that the hands actually are under the shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. Knees are under the hips. Toes can either be tucked or untucked, up to you. And we're going to move with our breath through some cat and cow. So inhale, belly comes down, pelvis and chin tilt up. Exhale, curving up the spine, tucking the chin and pelvis. And then just flowing with your breath. Noticing where you feel the stretch. So maybe not doing the absolute deepest version of cat and cow today. Just flowing with your breath with some ease. And just enjoying the feeling of your breath and the movement in your body. Noticing where you're feeling space starting to open up. Last exhale. Then we're going to inhale back to neutral tabletop. And we're going to move into thread the needle. So inhale, taking the right arm, opening up to the side. Gaze can go up to the right hand. Exhale, right hand comes down and under the left arm. So coming right on the right shoulder. Cheek comes down to the mat.
Option to stay right here, or you can tent the left fingertips, or bring the left hand back and behind or to the lower back. So up to you. Feel out what feels good in your body today. Come back to the breath. Feeling that space that you're creating and the energy that you're bringing in. One more breath. Exhale. Let's bring that left hand down to the mat if it isn't already. And we're bring ourselves all the way back up into our tabletop. So just getting repositioned here. The hands under the shoulders. Just feeling in our body. Space that we've already started to make. So on your next inhale, let's take the left arm, opening up to the left side, all the way up. Exhale, left hand comes down and under the right arm, coming right down on the left cheek. Option here again, if you want to tent the right fingertips or bring the right arm all the way back or to the lower back, whatever feels best. Finding your breath. Two more breaths. And on the exhale, let's guide that right hand all the way back down to the mat, coming all the way back up into our tabletop. So back in the tabletop, just moving through a few more rounds of cat and cow. I just feel like that's what I'd enjoy doing right now. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, we're going to walk the feet, bring up the knees, walk the feet to the head of the mat. So coming into a standing forward fold. So let your head just hang here. Let your arms just hang. Couple more breaths. Exhale. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping all the way overhead. Exhale, hands down through the midline and down to your sides. Deep breath in, swing the arms all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, so chest leads all the way down. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way overhead. Hands down through the midline, down to the heart center, and then down to your sides. One deep breath. Inhale, arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands apart, chest leads, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands down to the mat, stepping the right foot all the way back. Bringing down the right knee to the mat. So we're in a supported low lunge. Front knee is stacked over the front ankle. Inhale, coming up on the fingertips. Exhale, let's sink a little deeper into our lunge. There we go. Deep breath. Inhale, let's lift up the back knee, coming into that supported high lunge. And then bringing the back foot now so that it's flat on the sole of the foot. So the toes are dialed at about a 45. And now we're in a warrior stance. So deep breath. Inhale. Let's bring the arms all the way forward and up. Warrior one. So our hips are square to the front of the mat. Deep breath. Shoulders are down the back.
Exhale, opening up into our warrior two. So now our torso is flush with the long edge of the mat. Shoulders are down the back. Arms are parallel to the floor. And we're working to keep that front knee right over the front ankle. Gaze is over the front middle finger. Deep breath. So seeing if you can, in these tougher warrior poses, can we experience them with a bit more ease? Maybe not the strongest version here. So inhale, let's lengthen the front leg. And we're going to move into our triangle. So shifting the hips back. And then we're going to bring those arms as forward as we can and then tipping into our triangle. So option here, few options. You can keep the hands if that would be more enjoyable on the hips, or we can bring one hand down. For me, I'm not quite able to reach the ground because just the arm length thing. I want to make sure I keep my chest open. So maybe against the shin, or if you had a block under that bottom hand. Engaging your core. Head is wherever's good. So for me, I feel like I want to look up here, but you might prefer to looking forward. One more breath. Exhale. Let's bring that top arm forward as we bend that front foot, and let's frame the front foot coming on the ball of the back foot. Now we're going to bring the hands down to the mat and stepping our front foot all the way back into downward facing dog. So take a breath here. Hips are high. Option, down dog's not feeling good today. You can always just come down to tabletop or child's. You got to do what works for you, what feels good for you. Let the head just hang here. One more breath. Inhale, up in the balls of the feet. We're going to step our right foot all the way forward between the hands. So initially bringing down that back knee. Supported low lunge on the other side. So take a couple breaths here. Inhale, let's come on the fingertips, making sure the front knee is stacked over the front ankle. Okay. Exhale, let's sink a little deeper into our low lunge. There we go. Find your breath. We're enjoying this. Okay. Hands down to the mat. Let's now bring up the back knee. So we're in a supported high lunge initially. Okay. And now we're going to bring the back foot so that the sole is flat on the mat. So in our warrior stance now on the other side. Okay. Once you feel steady in your foundation, inhale. We can bring the arms all the way up, coming into our warrior one. Option to come into the cactus arms if you feel like that would be nice. Open chest. One more breath. And then exhale, opening up into our warrior two. So that again, my knee loves to wander. You saw it do it that, or you want to make sure it stays over that front ankle. And our torso is open to the long edge of the mat. Shoulders down the back. Gaze on over the front middle finger. Finding your breath. Inhale, let's lengthen the front leg. We're going to guide the hips back, and then we slide the arms forward until we can't anymore, and then we tip into our triangle. So again, whatever version of triangle works for you. Again, hands can be on the hips. Feel free to support the bottom hand with a blocker or cushion. Opening up the chest. So we want to make sure that top shoulder is rolled open. Finding your breath. And then on your next exhale, let's guide that top arm forward, bringing a bend back to the front knee, framing the front foot with the hands coming on the ball of the back foot. And we're going to now just step the back foot all the way forward, coming into a standing forward fold. Option for ragdoll here, so you can grab the opposite elbows if that feels good for you. Let your arms just hang. Do what feels good here.
Keep a little bend in the knees if that supports you. We're going to release the hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands down through the heart center. All right, so just taking a moment here in mountain just to check in. Check in with your breath. And notice the energy you've created in your body and the space that you've created in your body. And then feel free to open the eyes if they're closed. I'm just going to, for today, I want to try a really simple, just to share with you my reasoning, really simple balancing pose. I was reading an article this week, I can't remember where it was, not even yoga related, just saying, wow, we're noticing scientifically the benefits of even subtle standing on one, leg, balancing, doing that just a few minutes every day, that neurologically they're noticing it really helps improve brain health, how each hemisphere of the brain communicates with the other hemisphere, which is very important for brain health. So, and I find sometimes in yoga we can overcomplicate it, right? So I think today we'll just engage with a very simple balancing practice, because I just would enjoy doing that, knowing what I know. So I'll just bring the arms out to the side and we'll just make sure we're grounded on our left foot. So make sure that left foot is centered on the mat. Okay, maybe gripping the toes down to bring your attention there. Okay. And then when you're ready, just working on bringing that right foot up, bringing a bend to the right knee. Okay. Now, if you know you struggle a bit with these, that's okay. Maybe position yourself next to something that you could hold on to, like the wall, for a little support. And you can kind of let go and try it out, right? Very helpful to have an unmoving focal point ahead of you, just to focus on. And then remember to come back to the breath. Deep breath. Let's go for 4 more. If you followed, that's fine. Take that deep breath and come back in when you're ready. I find, knowing the importance of these balance postures, and if you know you struggle a bit, this is a great starting point. Once we master just standing on the one foot, then we can start getting a little fancier. All right, and when you're ready, you can bring that right foot back down to the mat and take a minute. Let's just show that left ankle, a little TLC there. There we go. Okay, take a deep breath in. Let's take the arms all the way overhead. Deep breath in. Exhale. There we go. Let's let that side go. Perfect. Okay, and now let's move to the other side. So we're going to refocus our attention onto that right foot. Feel it gripping on the mat. There it is. All my attention's in the right foot. Okay. I'm finding that unmoving focal point ahead of me. And when I'm ready, bringing a bend to the left knee, elevating that left foot off the mat. And you can move the hands to different locations. If you prefer the hands on the hips or you prefer the hands at heart center, feel free to try that option. And it's totally fine if for you, for me today, I really love the hands out for support. So I'm going to do that. Coming to your breath. Let's go for one more breath. We got this. Doing great. And then exhale, slowly releasing that left foot down to the mat. Awesome. Okay. Now let's take our right foot, and we're actually going to use maybe about 3 foot stance wide on the mat. Let's move our feet apart. Very nice. Into a wide leg stance. And let's inhale, sweeping the arms all the way overhead.
And then exhale, let's swan dive in a wide leg stance all the way down. Nice. So if you know that this is a bit of a tough, your hamstrings are really tight pose for you, feel free to use cushion or maybe a block underneath the hands for some support. You can bring the floor up to you. Deep breath. Trying to find some ease in this forward fold. Option here to clasp the hands behind the back and then let the hands fall towards the head if that feels good. So if you got tight shoulders, this one feels great. Two more breaths. Nice. And then we're going to bring the hands to the lower back if they're up and clasp, unclasp. Hands down to the mat. And we're just going to do a few side lunges here. So deep breath in. And then exhale, I'm just going to bring a bend to the right knee and then coming onto the left ankle. A little bit of a side lunge. Now, if you know this is not good for your knees, then just skip it. Just skip it. And then we're going to come to the other side. All right, last one. And then we're just going to bring our seat all the way down to the mat. So legs out in front, nice and long, in staff pose. So feeling the legs getting nice and even on the sit bones first, feeling the legs connected with the mat. If you know your hamstrings again are tight, you can keep a little micro bend there. Flexing the toes towards you. So opening up the chest. Inhale, arms all the way up. And then exhale, we're going to come into a fold, but we're just hinging at the hips here. So we're going to keep lengthening the spine. So if that means like I'm really tight today, so I'm not coming super deep right away, but I'm going to find my breath. And I know from experience that I don't need to force it. If I find my breath and just really sink in to that breath, everything starts to open up. And then I can start to go a little deeper. Just follow your breath. Let your breath lead. Couple more breaths. Inhale, slowly guiding your torso all the way back up. Now let's guide our torso all the way back down to the mat. So coming on our backs. Let's bring a bend to the knees. Soles of the feet initially are flat on the floor. And we're going to guide our right foot on top of the left knee. And on an inhale, let's guide that left knee towards the chest. So hands can go behind the left thigh, flexing both of your feet here into our figure four or supine pigeon. Ease the breath. And then exhale, releasing that left foot down to the mat. And slowly now transitioning to the other side. So bringing the right foot down to the mat, left foot on top of the right thigh. Take your time. When you're ready, inhaling the right knee towards the chest. Flexing both feet. Hands again can guide the left thigh towards your chest.
So really feeling, stretching your body. Again, we're not overdoing it. We're just letting our breath lead, creating that opening. And then exhale, releasing the right foot down to the mat and the left foot down to the mat. So the soles are on the mat, knees are still bent. Arms can come out in a T or cactus arms on the mat. Deep breath in. And on an exhale, guiding the knees towards the right. And your gaze can go towards the left, if that's okay on the neck. So just a gentle supine twist here. Inhale, coming up through center. And exhale, let's twist to the other side. Couple breaths. And then exhale, coming up through center. And I invite you to think of a pose, could be any pose that you'd like to do right now, that's a pose you really enjoy, especially at the end of your practice. And I invite you to do it now. Okay, so whatever pose comes to mind. For me, love happy baby. So I'm going to come into my happy baby by bringing my feet up from the hands on my soles of my feet. But totally up to you. Could be just a nice full body stretch, whatever speaks to you. So just really sink into that pose for the next few breaths. And then when you're ready, you can release the pose and then just come into your Shavasana. It's coming down the back. Take your time. If you prefer a cushion under the knees or under your head or perhaps a blanket, feel free to support yourself with that. Let your feet roll apart. Let your arms come out. Take up a little space. Palms are facing up. Closing your eyes when you're ready. And take a deep breath in and out. And let yourself just settle into stillness. Perhaps reminding yourself there's nothing else to do. There's nowhere else to be. Just let yourself enjoy these next few moments of rest. And when you're ready, you can slowly begin to deepen your breath. Nice and easy. Bringing a little movement back into your body. Maybe giving yourself that full body stretch. And then slowly guiding yourself onto one side. And pause there for just a few more breaths.
And then slowly guiding yourself back up into seated cross-leg position. Let your hands just rest on the knees or thighs for a moment. Let yourself arrive. And taking a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. Coming into your natural breath. And just bringing to mind again that positive activity that you enjoy doing, whatever it is. Just bringing it to mind again. And I invite you to perhaps set an intention to engage with this activity when you move off your mat. Whatever that might be. It might be hanging out with your favorite pet, right? Whatever that is. And reminding ourselves that positive energy comes from allowing what we enjoy, whatever that is, to nourish us. That's important. And bringing the palms of the hands together now, thumbs pressed in the heart center. Taking a moment of gratitude for this time and space for our practice today. Namaste. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We even got a little quick visit from Bergie there at the end. Very exciting. It's like she knew I will bring you the positive energy, right? Our fun interactions. Absolutely. Or whatever it is for you. I'm really glad that we got some time today to think of those things. And it's so easy to always get into other things, be distracted by other things, but we know that those are the things that nourish us, right? So I invite you to hopefully bring some of that nourishment into the week to come. And until next time, see you later. Take care. Bye.